Honest reviews for Madrid's first game of the season against OSASUNA. Madrid looks good. I think Mbappe looks better than everybody else. He lost weight. We can definitely see that, and he looks sharper on the ball. But overall, what we saw from Real Madrid, I couldn't really see the game full on, but based on what I've been hearing from several people and now seeing the highlights, it was just one-sided, right? Real Madrid just pretty much had the ball most of the time. They had like 73 or 75 possession, something like that. OSASUNA, terrible performance. They are one of those teams that we just hate playing against because they just literally park the bus. So Real Madrid did what they could. They got the win. Honestly, I think Madrid should have won it, but in the way that they did with that penalty that it shouldn't have counted, it looks bad on them. But essentially, they still should have won this game just based on how OSASUNA played. They are literally one of the most annoying teams that you could play against. But based on what we see from like looking forward in the season, I think this Madrid side looks confident. Mbappe looks extremely confident and comfortable on the ball, especially. Can Vini recover his best level? We'll see that. Today, he did have a couple mistakes. People, I know online, they're already criticizing him for several flops that he had and some fails that he had with, tricks on the ball and whatnot. But we'll see as the season goes along. Another thing, Rodrygo did not come in. I think that was sort of disrespectful for him because they called him up for the warm-up and then they just sat him down and they played Mastantuono instead, who was just bought by Madrid, and he's like 17 years of age. So but overall, decent performance by Real Madrid. I'm excited. This La Liga is going to be extremely tight and competitive, so we'll just have to tune in every single week to see what happens, and hopefully Barcelona win a second consecutive one. So culers, let me know what you guys think down in the comment sections. Madridistas, let me know what you think.
Madridistas, I'm gonna ask you something and I want you to be completely honest with me. Should Rodrygo really be the #1 candidate to leave Real Madrid? I want you to really think about that question, because we could be talking about Real Madrid potentially letting go of one of their best players and keeping somebody who has been gradually on the downfall for some time now. And the thing is, I don't even think I need to really say his name, because we all know who that is. And culers and Madridistas, I want to clarify just this one important thing. Those who know me know that I do not like speaking badly about any human person, including Vinicius Jr. But at the same time, we must be sincere from the bottom of our hearts and give an honest judgment on Vinicius Jr.'s recent football that he's been displaying for these last couple of seasons. And Madridistas, after what we saw from today's match against OSASUNA, it is more than clear that the one that should not be leaving is Rodrygo, but Vinicius Jr. However, at the same time, I recognize that Vini Jr. can be a crucial player for Real Madrid when he's at his best moments. We saw several of those moments last season, but overall, his performances have gradually been degrading. At the same time, however, Rodrygo is also a wonderful player, very skillful, who can succeed at this Madrid side. I'm assuming that the wish for all Madridistas is that both Rodrygo and Vini Jr. stay at Real Madrid, but unfortunately, because of the circumstances, one of them has to leave. So my question to you remains, who should go, Rodrygo or Vini Jr.?
Okay, so I went back and watched the replay of Mbappe's penalty, and I put it in 0.25 speed so that I could really see whether, number one, the OSASUNA player makes contact with Mbappe's leg, but number two, and this is a very important point that I saw somebody else on this app make, is that Mbappe actually steps on the ankle of the OSASUNA player first. So, in other words, Mbappe makes contact with him first before he makes contact with Mbappe. And I've put it in like I mentioned, I put it in slow motion, and I can indeed confirm that Mbappe steps on his ankle first. We see it first from this take, but then there's another angle. If you keep the video going, you could clearly see that Mbappe is already touching his ankle, like 0.5 milliseconds before the OSASUNA player touches Mbappe. Not even, probably like a whole second, to be honest, before he makes full-on contact with Mbappe's leg. Mbappe obviously also sells it. He's looking for the penalty. He feels the contact, so he falls down to the ground. But this was a bad decision by the referee. And guys, we have to be objective. Throughout the season, I promise, as a Barca fan, I'm going to be calling out Barcelona's goals given, right? So, for example, the second one against Mallorca, that was a clear referee mistake. That goal probably shouldn't have counted. But Barcelona went on and still won the match 2-0 if that goal doesn't count. But this one is bigger because Real Madrid just wins this match 1-0. You don't give them this penalty. It shouldn't have been a penalty. Mbappe fouls the OSASUNA player first. It ends 0-0 for the first match of the season for Madrid, and they're already 2 points behind Barcelona. And those are huge points that obviously come into effect later on in the season. And so I think Madrid got away with this goal. That's my objective, at least my perspective. I don't think that this should have been a penalty, but I welcome criticism, especially from you Madridistas out there. So please let me know what you guys think down in the comment section.
It is absolutely clear that this Real Madrid side without Mbappe cannot play. If there is one thing that we can all agree on after watching that match against OSASUNA, is that had Mbappe not played, Madrid would have ended up tying or losing this match. Mbappe not only had to play as a striker, but as a winger, as a midfielder, as a center back, as a goalkeeper, he had to play everything. And while it is a good thing that Mbappe is stepping up for this Madrid side, who is already the face of the team, literally carrying the entire squad, it does come with one consequence. And that is namely that all of his teammates are starting to rely on Mbappe way too much and starting to rely on themselves less. It is absolutely clear that not only Vini, but every attacker that we saw today for Madrid except Mbappe lacks confidence. Despite having like 75% of the ball, Madrid hardly took any shots. Is that not concerning at all? Mbappe literally had to carry this team on his shoulders and run them to victory. Otherwise, they would have been right now probably 2 points behind Barcelona. And look, yes, I am a Barcelona fan. You guys all know that. But that doesn't mean that I can't come here and call out the problems that Madrid are currently facing. Mbappe stepping up for Real Madrid, that's a good thing. But on the downside, his teammates are relying way too much on himself and not on their own. In contrast with Barcelona, while they do have most of their trust on Lamine Yamal, they also still rely on players such as Rafinha, Pedri, Gavi, Lewandowski, even Ferran Torres as of recently. This is the problem that Madrid have to face. Not only does Mbappe have to step, but also his teammate. Because otherwise, and I'm sorry if I upset you Madridistas, but this Madrid team is not going anywhere.